A month prior to the release of Atlantis, Jeffrey Katzenberg's DreamWorks released their long-in-development animated comedy, Shrek, a parody on fairy tales that was fresh, funny, intelligent, and one that appealed to an extremely strong demographic of filmgoers, even those who would not necessarily see an animated feature at the multiplex. The film was a monster hit, showing Disney that people were growing tired of the old Disney formula. However, in Michael Eisner's mind, the reason films like Shrek and the Toy Story films were major successes was because people had grown tired of hand-drawn animation, and he slowly started to make it known he wanted the drawing desks replaced with computers. The final blow to Disney that year came when the Academy Awards announced the very first nominations in the new category of Best Animated Feature. The nominees were Shrek, Pixar's Monsters Incorporated, and Nickelodeon's Jimmy Neutron, with Shrek winning the top prize.
You think that Shrek is your true love?
Well, yes.
Shrek. I just know before this is over, I'm gonna need a whole lot of serious therapy. Look at my eye twitching.
Despite Eisner's decision to close down the traditional animation department, there were still a couple more hand-drawn films in the pipeline for release, and the studio was aching to have a major success again. So the producers of Disney's next animated film, Lilo and Stitch, hit the marketing department with an excellent idea how to promote their next work, and this was the result.
For over 70 years, the Walt Disney Studios has won the hearts of audiences with the most enchanting, delightful, and lovable characters the world has ever known. On June 21st, the tradition...
Hey, that's not Simba.
His name is Stitch.
Ingenious marketing campaign quickly got people's attention as this lovable alien invaded the classic Disney animated films. Lilo and Stitch was such a quirky and different sort of film from the studio that it seemed only appropriate that he will be looked strangely upon by his fellow employees. However, would the film live up to its creative trailer? The answer is a resounding yes. Quite possibly the most realistic film to come out of the Walt Disney Animation Studios, directors, co-writers Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlois infused so much life to Lilo and Stitch, particularly in the realness of the writing and its characters. The fights between Lilo and her older sister Nani are true to life and is appropriately uncomfortable without sugarcoating any of it. The roughness of their relationship adds to the realism and heart inherent in this production. Even Stitch's actions and mannerisms have a true-to-life quality to them, a huge part of what makes this little monster so charming and likable. The film also has its fair share of hilarious moments, but it's the heartfelt scenes that make this a truly wonderful feature. Of course, as sharp as the final film was, like any other Disney project, it did go through a number of interesting changes that led it to being the masterpiece it became. Originally, the story would be set in Kansas, and Stitch would be the adult leader of an aerospace biker gang. However, the writers decided to change it by having the story set in Hawaii, making it perfect for its watercolor background. The ending was also completely changed due to the September 11th attacks that occurred late in production. So, at the last minute, buildings were changed to mountains, and the 747 aircraft was changed into a spaceship. Nonetheless, Lilo and Stitch was a major smash hit at the box office, showing that hand-drawn films had not yet been shafted by its newer, flashier younger brother.
Lilo and Stitch.
Look.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. You ain't never caught a rat. You ain't no friend of mine.
However, despite the success experienced by their summer hit, Disney was about to encounter their biggest bomb since the Black Cauldron, and the one that finally convinced Michael Eisner that 2D was over. Later that year, the studio released Treasure Planet, a passion project of Ron Clements and John Musker ever since the mid-1980s, when they proposed the idea of Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island in Space to Jeffrey Katzenberg as an ode to their love of classic comic book adventures. Katzenberg strongly disliked the idea, instead preferring them to make The Little Mermaid. Finally, the former chairman said they could follow up Hercules with Treasure Planet. After he left the studio, Michael Eisner greenlit the project and the film was going to production. Yet, after so many years of being in the filmmaker's minds, the final project just didn't have the energy seen in their earlier efforts. The animation was well done and some of the action is well realized, but the main character of Jim Hawkins just didn't click, and the alien sidekicks seen throughout the film weren't that funny. And audiences seem to agree the film was a major bomb at the box office, despite being the first film to open in IMAX and regular screens on the same day.
You think a pup like you can take on the likes of me? Watch me.
Treasure Planet.
The massive failure of Treasure Planet lost Disney a huge amount of money, leading to the decision from higher up to announce that they were henceforth only going to make computer animated features. The pencils were packed away, desks were sold, and the animators who wanted to keep their jobs were forced to learn how to create CGI animation or hit the road. It was a tough time for the studio, and the closure of their traditional animation department not only infuriated the animation community, but Walt Disney's own nephew as well, and he was going to do something about it. In the next and final look back, I look at Disney's entrance into the computer animation area, the end of the Eisner era, and the beginning of what could be a happy ending to our story. See you next time.